What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is day 3 of the 5th annual 10 Days of Pumpkin here on the channel. The beer I'm reviewing today, once again, comes from the Left Hand Brewing Company, and they're out of Longmont, Colorado, and this is their Pumpkin Spice Latte Nitro, and this is the 2022 release. So they're calling this one a pumpkin ale with spices and coffee added. It comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, time of review. I don't know exactly how old this can is, but it does have a best by date of February 12th of 2023, and we're about just under 4 months away from that date. So we should be fine. Now, when I did the vlog for the 5th annual 10 Days of Pumpkin, I talked about I have a little bit of apprehension about this one. And I always say don't go into reviews with preconceived notions. But I will say this. I always call Left Hand the king of the nitro beers here in the US. But I think I need an asterisk because I would say that is the case when they do their Milk Stout Nitro series or any of their nitroed Imperial Stouts. When it comes to a lot of their fruit beers, I've reviewed 3 over the past couple years. They have all been a big miss for me. I did their, was a key lime pie, I think, sour nitro. I forget the name of it. It was like tiki something. It was a pina colada wheat nitro. And I also did their Flamingo Dreams, which was like a raspberry blonde ale. They all missed the mark for me. And I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if the nitro doesn't work well with those specific beers, but this is not Milk Stout Nitro. This is not a big Imperial Stout that is nitro. This is a pumpkin, basically a pumpkin coffee ale that is nitro. So I'm a little bit worried about this one, but I always am honest with my reviews, and I always judge beer on what I'm tasting, not exactly what I'm thinking. So we'll see. I'm going to give this a hard pour into this Left Hand glass, and we'll see. So I'm hoping that, it does taste like a pumpkin spice latte. You know what I mean? In beer form. Gotta love the nitro pours, though. I absolutely love them. I'll hold it up to the camera here so you guys can get the cascading effect, assuming that does do what it should. So yeah, that's a beautiful beer. The body has this really dark burnt orange into like a rust color, like a deep copper, almost like a deep mango shakes or something. That's a weird color. It's probably gonna be darker on camera, but it looks just really different. I'm gonna hold it up to the light. A lot of sediment, can't see through it. Haze for days. The finger is this maybe 2.5 finger of incredibly creamy because of the nitro. That is like a very, very light, light tan colored head, I would say. Maybe like a cream color. Yeah, definitely, it's not white. And it looks beautiful because it's nitro beer. But yeah, that plays the role of something that is called a pumpkin spice latte nitro beer. Anyway, let's get nose. Oh, I do want to mention, they do list the ingredients here. And for spices specifically, so they say ingredients, Rocky Mountain water, malted barley, rolled oats, lactose, pumpkin coffee, and then spices, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice. So those are the 4 spices in here. And the first thing I got was ginger. Yeah, the ginger's there. But I get the coffee too, the lactose producing a vanilla. Yeah, this smells like a pumpkin spice latte or like a pumpkin spiced coffee of some sort. Like it just has the coffee with the pumpkin spices, a little bit of vanilla from the lactose. Listen, they say pumpkin ale with spices and coffee added. They do say pumpkins in here, right? Yeah. So I was gonna say I'm getting like a little bit of like a gourdy, earthy kind of thing. Could just be my mind playing tricks on me a little bit. This actually smells pretty fucking good. Listen, it's what it's supposed to be in the nose. Pumpkin spice latte all day long. There's nothing wrong with the nose, actually. It's quite nice. I enjoy the nose. Yeah, I want to get into it. Cheers, everyone. Okay, so I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I don't think they missed the mark here. What I will say is what's actually happening in this one is sometimes the reverse effect I get in nitro beers. A lot of times I always say nitro beers will dull out the flavors, especially in the nose of a beer, if it's nitroed, but a lot of times in the taste, it'll make up for it. So the opposite. I think the nose was actually very vibrant and bright with those spices and coffee, and the taste is like that flavor dialed down by like 30 or 35%. Like it's very subdued compared to the nose. I think this one, like lower side of medium, higher side of light, 7%, bit thin, but it's not like super watery. It's just, I expect a little bit more on the body. The mouthfeel, it's nitro. Smooth, super soft, creamy. It's exactly what you want out of a nitro mouthfeel. They deliver on that almost every single time. Even in the bad beers, usually the mouthfeel delivers. The one thing a lot of people have issue with the nitro is that flat feeling because of the nitro. And I could see that being an issue here. I'm not really too worried about it. It almost gives off like a coffee feel because coffee's not carbonated. And yeah, I could see how that, like drinking a cold brew, like pumpkin spice beer, or coffee, like that'd be like a cold brew pumpkin spice coffee is kind of what this reminded me of. So body a bit thin, mouthfeel spectacular. The taste, again, it's the nose dialed down by like a third. There's everything I was getting in the nose. It has this nice like coffee kind of roast to it at the front of the palate. There's little underlying roasted kind of malt qualities, like a little bit of brown sugar, maybe caramel. And then the spices hit me right after that. It's ginger is leading the way. Definitely like a decent ginger on this one. Cinnamon, allspice probably in that order. I'm not getting a ton of nutmeg. As it passes through on the back of the palate, it intertwines. It becomes, again, the pumpkin spice latte you're looking for. Has a slight earthiness on the back of the palate. This finishes slightly dry to semi-dry. I thought it would be a little bit more drier. And a very mild bitterness. The one thing this one I think is a little bit lacking is in bitterness and dryness. I think it's a little bit too sweet, but it's not like cloying or anything. I'm going to be able to finish this can, no issues. But I do wish there was a little bit more of a balance. Like this is like 60-65% sweet and 40 to 35%, bitter/dry. I think the biggest issue I have with this beer is the fact that the nose was substantially better than the taste. And if I think the nose carried over, this is easy 4 for me all day, probably like a 4-1. But it didn't carry over. Instead, I'm left here with a very subdued taste that isn't bad. It's just not like blowing me away, but it's a solid beer. I think this is a very solid beer. All right, so I'm going to have to give this appropriate rating. 7%, don't feel it at all. It hides the alcohol well. I'm going to give this appropriate rating. I think the nose screamed to me, like I said, high 4, 4.05, 4.1. But I'm going to have to be honest. The nose knocks it down like at least a quarter point, if not more. So I'm going to give Pumpkin Spice Latte Nitro, the 2022 release from Left Hand. I'm going to give that a low 3.75. We're going to go with 3.65. Honestly, almost knocks it down a half point. I'm just going to be honest. I was sitting there thinking about what I want to do with it. And yeah, I think that's what I want to do. 3.65. So not bad by any stretch of imagination. It's just if that nose carried over, it was more vibrant in your face, and I kind of wanted that in the taste. Maybe it wouldn't be as drinkable with that, but what I'm drinking right now is just like remnants of what I got in the nose, and it's kind of disappointing from that aspect. Price point availability. Availability is Left Hand. Wherever you see Left Hand, you probably should have saw this one. Maybe it's gone because I picked this can up, spoilers, back in like, I think it was like late August. So it's like 2 months old at the very least. So yeah, they released this one super early. It was the first pumpkin beer I saw released. It might have even been like early August. I don't know. It was really early. I was like, I'm going to grab that. That sounds cool. And it just sat in my fridge for like 2.5, 3 months. Well, we'll just say about 2.5 months. The price point was $12 for 4-pack. I think I paid like $3.25 for that can. That's a fine price. 7%. You're talking pumpkin, spices, coffee, nitro for $3.25 a can, $12 4-pack. Yeah, that's fine. More than fine. Actually, a good price. Anyway, not much more to say about this one. If you've had this one before, let me know what you thought about it. As you can see, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think this was actually surpassed expectations based on the prior 3, non-stouted nitro beers. Definitely better than the ones I've had, but still a little bit lacking. I thought the nose was way better, and I wish it would have carried over. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this one. Did you drink this one relatively fresh? Are you drinking it now? Do you not plan on drinking it at all? Because I do wonder if I would have drank this one right away when I bought it, if it would have been a little bit more intense in terms of the spices definitely in the taste, but whatever. I want to drink my pumpkin beers in the fall, not in the summer. So anyway, to the next one. Cheers. Oh yeah, stop by tomorrow for day 4. I think we're doing Prairie Artisan Ales, Basic Rebecca, Big Barrel Aged Imperial Pumpkin Stout, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.